Hey y'all, my late but blooming babes. Welcome back to the channel. It is me, your late but blooming bestie, Dom, and welcome back for another video. As usual, if you are new here, welcome. I hope this isn't your last time stopping by, but I hope you take something with you on the way out. And if you are returning, welcome back. Come on in, y'all. And as usual, do all the things that you're supposed to do, because on this channel, we talk about narcissistic abuse recovery. We talk about narcissistic personality traits, the signs and symptoms and tips to look out for, and the tips to get out of those relationships if you found yourself in them, and how to avoid them if you have not. And we also talk about mental health, healing, surviving, thriving, all the things after the fact, because of course life does not end in these toxic relationships or with these toxic ass people. There is life on the other side if you choose to embrace it. So again, if you are into that kind of thing, or it sounds like something that you might be interested in, go ahead and do all the things you're supposed to do for YouTube to do what it's supposed to do. So like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, and let's get to the topic of today's video. So for you guys who have been with me since I started this channel, you know that I talk a lot, like I said, about narcissistic personality disorder and some of the traits to look out for and just some things like that. That's pretty much what I've talked about up until this point. But on today's video, I actually want to talk about you, the one who is going through it with the narcissistic person. Again, usually when I'm talking from the perspective of romantic partnership, just by default, because that was my case. But of course, this applies in narcissistic personality disorder with whomever it is and however they fall within your life. So again, if that's a sibling, a parent, cousin, whatever the case may be, friend, whatever. But I will likely refer to romantic relationships, again, by default, because that's the perspective in which I am coming from, because that was my experience. It was a romantic relationship that ended up being a marriage that ended up being a divorce. So that again is the perspective I'm usually talking about. But like I said, we are talking about today you. So what I want you to do, because a lot of times people don't know, are they actually with a narcissist? Because again, a lot of times, most times, narcissists do not feel that they are the problem. They feel like everyone and everything else is the issue and there is nothing wrong with them. So they do not go get themselves checked out. They do not take the time to get diagnosed because again, there's nothing wrong with them. So why would they go get diagnosed? So for the most part, like I said, you're dealing with these people and you're going through these things and they just consume so much of who you are as a person that you get blinded and overcome by them in their chaos. So in order to figure out how you let's rewind. First, figure out if you are with a narcissist, because again, they don't get diagnosed, but you feel like there might be a few things here or there that might pinpoint that they are. Or if you are wondering, should you leave the situation, you figure, even if they're not narcissistic or whatever, they're toxic at the least, and you don't want to be in it. How do you know if it's time to go? And things like that. Because of course, I never jump on here saying you need to leave, you need to leave, you need to leave. Ultimately, you should, but I can't make that decision on when you need to for you. It is literally something you have to come to on your own, and you usually come to it at the least expected time. It's usually the smallest thing that is usually that breaking the shelf moment in most of these relationships. But maybe you need help in understanding, is this what I should do? Well, ask yourself these 3 questions. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. And you cannot say, I don't know, to any of the questions, okay? But take it seriously. Ask yourself these questions and answer them. You don't have to share your answer in the comments. If you'd like to, sure. Go ahead, go for it if you want, but you don't have to, because this is truly about you and getting into what you need to do to best navigate your life going forward, because this is your life and you are the main character in your life. A lot of times when we deal with these narcissistic people, these toxic people, like I said, we are so consumed with them that we end up being more of a supporting character in their story than being the lead character in our own. We can completely forget about the role in our own story because we're so focused and so consumed with them and their life and their story and their path. And that's by design because narcissists love it to be that way. But we do get to that place at some point. So, first question number one, who are you? Not what's your name, none of the base level, simple stuff. Who are you? Right now, today, in your core, who are you? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you hopeful? Are you down? Do you hopeless? Who are you right now? Okay? Once you write that out, who you are at your core right now, and again, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some digging because you have to get to the root of what is it about you or inside of you that you haven't fixed that is attracting that toxic person or toxic people to you. Because granted, they are assholes. They are. It is what it is. And there's no denying it. But there was something about you or something in you that not only drew them to you, but caused you to stay with them. And that needs to be fixed and corrected so that going forward, you don't attract the same type of energy into your life. So let's first ask ourselves, who are we to our core right now, here today? And again, good, bad, ugly, happy, sad, whatever, acknowledge it so that you can take the next step to correct it. Because you can't correct something that you don't address and acknowledge, right? So once you do that, question number two, you then ask yourself, who do you want to actually be? Granted, you're probably not there now because if you're in this situation and you're watching these kind of videos or this kind of content on YouTube, you're not where you want to be. So, where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And if you want to give yourself an additional challenge, put a time stamp on it. Give yourself a time frame to strive towards. Now, don't strangle yourself and be oh so committed to it that, you know, it becomes too much and it stresses you out more than it liberates you, because that defeats the purpose. But give yourself some goals to get to where you want to be. Find out who you are, who you want to be, so that we can now figure out how we're going to get there. Okay? Once you've done those two things, and this is so important, so important, because this is going to tell you all you need to know regarding your dealings with whoever the person that you're thinking of when I say toxic and or narcissistic person. This is going to tell you what you need to do going forward. Out of question 1 and 2, question 3, can you become the person that you said you wanted to become? And number 2, can you become that person in the environment that you're currently in? So if you stay with that person that you're currently with, will you be able to get to being the number two, the person that you want to be? Would you be able to get there with that person that you're thinking about when I say toxic person or I say narcissistic person? If I'm thinking how I'm thinking that you're thinking, the answer is no. And if the answer is no, you got to make some big girl and big boy decisions. Are you willing to stay, number 1, and continue to hold on to this person because you don't want to let them go for whatever reason, comfort, you feel like you are going to hurt their feelings, whatever the reasoning is? Or are you going to go ahead and go for becoming number 2, the person that you want to become, which is going to come at the cost of letting go of whatever that relationship is with that person? These are things you have to think about. You have to think about them long and hard and take it seriously, because these are the questions, and your answers and what you do with that will determine where you go from here. And like I said, if you're looking at this type of content on the internet, you want to do more with your life. You do. You do. You're just trying to figure out how you can do more with your life and hang on to that person for whatever reason. But unfortunately, there are times where holding on hurts more than letting go. And when you're dealing with a narcissistic person or a toxic person, those times are all the time. It hurts you more to hold on to them than it ever will for you to just let it go. Let it go. The way time is flying these days, the days are going by so fast. You don't know when it's going to be up for you. Just like I don't know when it's going to be up for me. So you don't have time to waste like that. So you need to try to get to where you want to be in life as fast as you can. Now, of course, it's not a race or whatever the case may be, but each day you should be taking those steps to get there. And sometimes those steps are harder to take than others. But if you keep going, if you make the decision to choose yourself, if you decide to recast this story and decide, you know what, I'm going to return to my story and where I'm the main character and let go of that supporting role that you never get credit for, that you just a recurring guest at and you're never going to get like top billing or anything, do what you need to do for you and be safe about it. Because if you do decide to sever ties, that is always the most dangerous time for you physically and emotionally and all the things. Because sometimes, even though these people refuse to treat you right, they refuse to do what they need to do, they refuse to do the things that will make you want to stay with them, when you finally decide to leave, they lose their fucking mind. So you have to be safe. You have to be smart. We have to put our thinking caps on. But you have to do what's best for you. So again, ask yourself those 3 questions. Who are you right now? Who do you want to become? And can you become the person you want to become while still in the same environment? Once you get your answers and come to your conclusions, then you decide what you're going to do next, because you need to do what's best for you and figure out how you're going to get there. It's hard because, again, taking accountability can be hard, but it is the first step towards healing. And you have to do the work to heal if you want all the goodness that you've been missing out on. Dealing with these people, it's so much goodness on the other side of healing. I'm not even gonna. The peace alone is gold. It's just priceless. So do yourself the favor. You deserve it. If you put up with even a monochrome of what I think you put up with, you deserve it. You deserve it. So do it, even though it's hard. Because at the end of the day, the reward is so rich. Okay? So again, guys, this quick video. Do all the things you're supposed to do on the YouTubes. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Till the next video, I'm out.